DOA Director Edward Birn got his orders from Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
There is a formal instruction I have.
The formal instructions came via a memorandum signed by the governor last Friday, May 8th, citing her Title X special powers, allowing her to make emergency purchases to respond to a public health emergency.
I know that we're having to do things in a different way, all of us, right, because of this pandemic.
Different in that invoices are being paid even though signatures are missing on several emergency purchases that were posted on the governor's website. Matter of fact, every emergency purchase on agreements between Guam Homeland Security and the Office of Civil Defense for the quarantine isolation facilities are missing the signature of the agency's director, Charles Esteves, certifying officer Marie Kenga, BBMR Director Lester Carlson, the Attorney General, and the governor herself. What was attached to every agreement was the May 7th memo stating the governor's Title X special powers.
So these don't have to have contracts, right? Just as long as you got the invoice, you don't have any other you don't have to have any other paper trail justifying anything. Like no agreements are in place. It's okay just as long as the governor says, go pay this. And here's the invoice.
This was an emergency procurement.
Right. Well, I'm just curious because Charles Esteves said, where's the contract when it came to Mr. Hyun sending over information about these food contracts, and Esteves is like, where's the contract?
Birn was firm that he's received his orders.
I think it was like at the end of last week, I got an instruction from the governor to pay these invoices that were acquired under this emergency purchase.
Although Birn didn't provide specific details about which invoices or how many he's paying, according to the governor's website, there are multiple emergency purchases and multiple agreements between GHS OCD for quarantine isolation facilities, beginning with Santa Fe. UNI are paying for 103 fully furnished rooms, Perlis Court condominiums, 17 fully furnished condos, Pacific Star, 389 rooms, Days Inn, 48 rooms, and Wyndham Garden, 144. According to these agreements, we're paying $100 per room per day, and even if they're vacant. The hotels are to take care of housekeeping, linen and towel service, providing their own labor and personnel, as well as the quarantine isolation hotels are responsible for delivering and providing 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. But if food services are part of the deal, why is there invoices on the governor's website to pay almost $80,000 to Capital Kitchen?
I think it does include food for those people that are staffing the hotels, but I don't think it's every meal. I think it's just whenever those staff are there, we paid for the meals for the people that are helping the people in quarantine.
Also paid was an invoice for laundry services from a company called The Laundry Solutions. But it wasn't the governor that gave the order, but rather her now former chief of staff, Tony Babalta.
Is she the only one who can tell you that? Because you said Tony Babalta also did. Is she the only one? And who else has?
Nobody else has.
So just Tony Babalta and the governor have ordered you to...
The governor is the governor, right?
Well, Tony Babalta was Tony Babalta. He's not the governor. But you said he called you up or he wrote something. Did he call you or did he write something and tell you to pay?
No, I think he called me.
Can you recall the call, Ed?
No. But let me just say this, and this is important, right? That if the instruction I have got from the governor was to pay whatever invoices were presented, and that means invoices that were presented and paid, and invoices that are yet to be paid.
UNI, in the meantime, will also be paying for medical staffing at the quarantine isolation sites. According to a memorandum of agreement between Public Health and Health Services of the Pacific, they were brought in to provide clinical surveillance of inbound travelers held under quarantine at GovGuam isolation sites. These include physicians, nurses, LPNs, and non-clinical support staff, to name a few. According to the MOA, they're being paid also for overtime and mileage reimbursement. While the MOA was signed by HSP, it wasn't signed by Public Health Director Linda N. Pinko DeNorsi. Although we don't know just yet how much all these emergency purchases will cost UNI, as the governor has said in the past, quote, "It is what it is."
The normal rules don't apply in these circumstances.
The question, however, does remain, will it stand up to GovGuam's requests for federal reimbursement? We should also note that almost all of the quarantine isolation facility agreements have expired or will expire in the next several days. KUAM has also learned that a new round of emergency purchases will be done for quarantine and isolation facilities, but this time with the assistance and guidance from Civil Defense and GSA to ensure proper protocols and procedures are met. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani.